by Design, and this is Throwback Thursday. It is time for us to make our next little monthly banner. This is April, our April banner, and this is using Graphic 45's April Time to Flourish papers. And I just want to go over very quickly how I've put this banner together. I created my banner pennants with Eileen Hull's Thinlits, Stitchlets house die. And if you turn this die upside down, it makes a beautiful pennant shape. So I cut the cream color with this largest one, and then I came back with my patterned paper, and you layer these dies together, and I use a little piece of Post-it tape to hold them, and then I die cut my paper, and then I come in and I cut halfway in between these circle perforations, mat it on pink, and trim around it with my trimmer. And it's a very quick and easy way to make these sweet little pennants. So then I used another circle die. This is a stitch circle die, and I cut out 4 of these large circles from the 12 by 12 patterned paper. These are glued down. So here's your basic pennant, and these are glued down here. Once I have my basic pennant base built and matted, then I took a 1.5 inch piece of pink check ribbon that I got from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I folded it in half over the top of each pennant and then stitched this anti-crochet lace over the top of it on my sewing machine. It always helps if you stitch all the way down in one direction and then turn it and stitch back in the other direction along the bottom. This way your banner will lay nicely when you display it. Sometimes these banners have a tendency to sort of flip up, and this will prevent it from doing that. The 2 little banners on either end are Graphic 45 ATC ivory tags, and I've covered those with the ATC tag die. And that is also paper from the back side of the cut apart page of this collection. So it's very quick and easy to put this part of it together. Now that we have our basic pennant all put together, we're going to go ahead and decorate each of these. These are these little ATC, ivory ATC cards. I just took from the 12 by 12 this little border strip, and I trimmed it to fit the width. And now I'm just going to glue this down in the center. And I'm going to take this little chipboard piece and glue it right in the center there, just keeping it nice and simple. Each of these spaces in between the pennants, I'll add one of these little baker's twine bows, and then I found these beautiful buttons that are like a perfect color match in my stash, and I'm going to put these in between. Okay, so that's super easy. On this first pennant, I fussy cut our vintage gal, and I want to add a little distress ink to the edges, because otherwise I feel like she just kind of disappears. So you can see, I just want to show you, I'm just kind of brushing the very edges. I'm not going crazy here, just enough to add a little definition and outline to my fussy cut. And this is from the 12 by 12 paper collection. All right, and then I put 2 pieces of chipboard, just, you know, waste chipboard on the back from another project, and she's going to go right here. And then I have this little hello cut out from the 12 by 12, and again I put a little chipboard on the back, and we're going to stick this right back behind like this. All right. On this pennant, this is a Reneabouquets. This is one of her beautiful, printed beautiful board Easter images, and it's just the sweetest thing. I'm going to put this down near the bottom, but not too far down. I want these pretty tulips to show. And again, I put waste chipboard on the back. So right about here. And then this little sentiment cut from the 8x8 is going to tuck right in here. Okay. And then I have this little tag from the chipboard tags. It's going to go right here. And this sweet little bee is going to go right on top like that. So that takes care of that pennant. Let's move over here to this middle one. I'm trying to find all my stuff. So this one already has the Earth Laughs and Flowers, which I love. So all I'm going to add here is another little Reneabouquets Printed Beautiful board. This is one of her new ones for this year. And I put 2 layers of chipboard because I want her to pop up. Since she's the main feature on the page, I want her to really stand up nice and tall. Then right here, I want to take this Easter greetings. And this is going to go kind of up here at an angle. We've got our little umbrella girls. And then this is Reneabouquets chipboard right here. These sweet little chicks with the Victorian umbrella. So precious. Get this glued down. Also right here, kind of at an angle. This is going to go down here. And then we have this little chipboard piece that can sit up above it. It'll tuck right behind. I'm just going to show you very quickly how I add these Baker twine bows. I take a pretty long piece of Baker's twine, probably 24 inches. I double it over and I just come underneath, even out the ends, and then just tie a little shoestring bow, just like tying your shoes. Super easy. Adjust the tails. And then get everything arranged the way you want it to be, and come in and glue down your button on top of the thread, just like that. And then I'm just going to trim my tails. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now I want to show you how to add the bows to the ends. So I've opened up my the ends of my ribbon. You can see I leave the ends long. This allows me to, you know, it's pretty to have the little streamers hanging down the side. So here's my ribbon, and I'm going to take my right side, I'm going to put it over my left side and go under and just pull it, just like that. Then I'm going to pull these down. You can see one's a little longer than the other. That's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to bring in my bow. A lot of you have asked me how I do my bows. I use a Zetter bow it all to tie all my bows. And I've tied a double loop bow. And I'm positioning everything the way I want it. And then I put my bow in place. Oops. Wait for that glue to set up before I do too much shifting around. But see, very pretty. And that's why you don't need a lot of stuff on these outer small pennants. These are almost like spacers for the rest of it. So just do the same thing on the opposite end. We're nearly done now. We're just going to add some little sweet details. I've got this beautiful Reneabouquets. These are Aurora, Pink Aurora, I think is what they're called. I'm going to tuck this right here in our little fussy cut. And then over here, I've added string bows on top of my satin bows. And then I've got some beautiful Prima flowers that I want to add. I also took a daisy charm an enamel daisy, and a silver key, and added it to the bottom of each of the ATC cards to dress those up. I'm going to start with this sweet little pink flower and put it right in the center. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Then I'm going to take this little aqua flower and add it to the mix. These are so precious. These are Prima. I just had these in my stash. I don't even know what collection they came from, but the colors are a really good match for this month's banner. So I decided to go with those. So tuck that in. These are really sweet. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tuck this up into itself, add my glue here, and then stick this down in like that to make a little nosegay to go on each of our bows. So I'll do the same thing with this one. Only this one's going to be aqua. And I'm just going to kind of tuck it up. And I'm going to put it right in here. So we have this sweet little nosegay. All right. Then here, I want to get some yellow into the mix to pick up on all the pretty creams and yellows. So I'm looking for the right shade. Yellow is a really hard shade to match, but that looks pretty good. So let's put this here, because these are simple. We're just going to put this here, and then maybe this little one right here. All right, and then we'll come down here and do the same thing on this end. Got strings and glue webs that I can see I have to deal with. There's the yellow one right here, like that. So that's real sweet. All right. And I've got this little cluster from another Prima set, and you look through your flowers, you've probably got some great things. I've used all my spring flowers from Reneabouquets, so I need to put in another order for some of those. They are addictive. I love her flowers. They're so beautiful. And then right down here, I'm just going to tuck in this little pink just there. I kind of like that left coiled right there. I'm not going to do a thing to it. Okay, now I'm going to work on this little shoe. And I'm going to take this sweet little sort of buttery shaded flower and put it right here. And then I'm going to take this blue sparkly and kind of squish it up. And tuck it in like this. And then do the same thing with this one. Okay, and up here, I'm just going to take my aqua right here. So I wanted to use this aqua flower, but it was too big. And I just took this part out of it. And I'm going to tuck this. You can actually tear these apart and you can reuse them the way you want them. I'm going to do that part there, and I'm going to do the same thing with this beautiful sort of peachy pink. And these are all okay because they're all like spring shades. So it's okay if you have a little variation in them. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to tuck this in right there. See how pretty that is now? That really works. Then what do you do with this part? Well, it's kind of cool. You can fold it in half like this. Put a little glue in here to hold it, and put glue on the back, and you can use it to squish back behind an element like that. Which just adds a little volume and texture right there, which is nice. So I'm looking at things, I'm thinking, what do I do? How do I finish? Actually, I think we're done. I don't think we need to add another thing. I think it's just right, just the way it is. And we've pulled in all these beautiful spring pastels and these beautiful images. This is great. So now all I have to do is clean up my glue webs. The way I do that is I run my heat gun kind of lightly over the top. You don't want to burn any of your flowers, so you keep it moving and you don't hold it too close, but that'll clean up the glue webs, and then I'm ready to hang this beauty. So that's it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Thank you for joining me for this Throwback Thursday to make our April banner for our Through the Year with Banners series. All right, guys, go get your craft on. Bye.